Well, good morning and welcome to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Aiken. We are broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Market Street in Corning. We have a lot of breaking news this morning. We're going to be talking about the Supreme Court. We're going to be talking about some local issues, really kind of to kick off the program. We also have, of course, as you know, I've been promoting it all week, Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard will be joining us in the 7 o'clock hour, so make sure you get your questions in for the sheriff. First, a comment that I received after yesterday's broadcast, and it came over voicemail because you can leave a voicemail. I'm watching your show and I do not have a mobile device. I just want to know if you had an email. Then I can make comments and waves. And then they want me to call. I'll put aside this in case you don't get this information, if you're not tuned in quite yet. But here is the email and the text, which you can also see that text number on the bottom of the screen at all times. But yes, if you would like to email me, I'd love to hear from you. Because yesterday, and we'll continue it until tomorrow's broadcast before we go into the long July 4th weekend, because I will not be in on Friday or Monday. But we're doing an impromptu survey because so many surveys are coming out in preparation of America 250 that have just been doom and gloom about people. I think Democrats, what was it, 8%? We're very proud of being Americans. Very discouraging numbers, right? So we are doing an impromptu, frankly speaking, survey, and I've collected all of yours from yesterday, and we'll collect today. And what the concept is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you stand, with 10 being perhaps the most patriotic, the most proud, the most grateful, whatever term you want to use, and 1 being the least? We had a array of numbers yesterday. So what we'll do is tomorrow on the broadcast, we'll do the average and kind of show you where we're at collectively. So please feel free to continue with the survey. And if email is the best way, there is the email on the screen. Wow, look at all these waves coming in. I appreciate it. But one survey before we get into the local news. The death of the American dream is greatly exaggerated. 2/3 of U.S. residents say they have either achieved the American dream or on their way to it, while a growing number believe it's increasingly becoming a pipe dream. The patriotic poll revealed 67% of respondents have achieved or are pursuing the American dream. 64% believe the land of opportunity can unite Americans, and 71% say they have similar or more opportunities than their parents, according to the survey conducted for the Arch Bridge Institute think tank. Now, continuing here, this is from the New York Post. Meanwhile, this is completely different. And that's why we always talk about polls when it comes to politics and how they can be so different and so often so wrong. So you'll have Gallup, AP. I would argue some of the media outlets that have been pushing the negative polling, in my opinion, maybe have an agenda there, trying to paint a message. This is just me speculating. Painting a message that they can suggest that everybody hates Trump. They've been pushing this from the very beginning. That everybody hates Trump, and they feel that we're in kind of some dystopia because of President Trump. So I think it's the same reason why they've been so angry and so upset for whatever reason about the Great American Fair, where they don't want to see these things succeed because they believe it has some connection to Trump. Now, I would think celebrating America 250 would be something that we all do, that we're all proud of, but they don't want you to believe that. So I think a lot of these outlets have an agenda. That's why it's nice to hear some what I think are more realistic numbers. 73% of respondents said they're proud to be an American in this instance. This again coming from the Arch Bridge Institute think tank. And 70% say being an American is an important part of their identity. However, it's not all positive. Where the other articles are all doom and gloom, this one has mostly positive, but it's important to know It shows that optimism in the American dream has dropped this year, with pessimism reaching an all-time high, surging from 18% 2022 to 233%. That can't be right this year. What? I think that's a little typo from the New York Post. Reached an all-time high. Pessimism can't reach 233%. All right. Thank you, New York Post. But that does surging, so it did surge. We don't have the exact numbers for you. And younger Americans are significantly more negative than older ones, according to the poll. While over 80% of Americans are hopeful about their own future, only 58% said the same for the U.S. at large. Most Americans, 58%, believe in the American dream, while 41% do not. Now, going back to the younger people, again, this all boils down to what we've talked about ad nauseum, the indoctrination in the education system, in my opinion. But that's a better poll, one that's a little more positive, just like the Frankly Speaking poll, what I would say would track more positive than the national polls. Okay, we've got a lot of breaking New York State and local issues here that I want to get to in this first segment. Do we have time? Yes. Before we get into some other stories nationwide from yesterday. First, this came to my attention late yesterday when I saw the announcement of an emergency town of Corning board meeting. Jennifer Tuttle, also known Jennifer Mullen, I think when we first interviewed her it was Mullen, then Tuttle. She has resigned as the town supervisor for the town of Corning. She pleaded guilty yesterday before she resigned. She pleaded guilty. Let's see, it's hard to read the unified court system, but she pleaded guilty to one count of offering a false instrument for filing. I believe there was 4 different counts, but she did plead guilty to the filing of a false instrument. So then she did resign. That leaves Mike Brennan, who was voted in last night as the interim town supervisor. So that was a breaking story locally for our friends in the town of Corning. I know we do have a large population in the town of Corning that tunes in. Also at the state level, a federal appeals court has sided with New York State over its statewide mandate to build all-electric buildings. The federal appeals court says it does not interfere with federal law. So it looks like the all-electric buildings debacle could be back at our feet. Known as the All-Electric Buildings Act, the legislation was tucked in the state budget in 2023 and would ban new gas hookups in new buildings under 7 stories, and then the mandate would apply to all other buildings constructed after January 1st, 2029. Now, the gas and construction trade groups sued to block the law 2 years ago, arguing it violates the federal government's rules. The Second Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals ruled on Tuesday that the challenged laws are not preempted under the Energy Policy and Conservation Act of 1975, saying interpreting preemptive provisions in federal statutes requires ascertaining Congress's intent. EPCA, a statute that at its heart promotes national energy conservation goals, does not preclude these particular state and local efforts to regulate the use of fossil fuels. Now, the All-Electric Buildings Act had been scheduled to go into effect at the beginning of this year, and sadly, that's kind of when people started paying attention. And in Albany and New York, they're amazing at this. They'll virtue signal. They'll come out with some law and say, hey, in 5 years, this is going to be the law of the land because of climate change. And unfortunately, after the first couple of weeks, you forget about it. And then as the deadline nears, normally a few weeks before the deadline hits, that's when people are rushing around saying, what did I miss? What happened? Because let's face it, 5 years goes by in the blink of an eye. So that's what happened in this situation where people were writing in or stopping on the street and go, what is this? And as we said at the time, it was something we talked about really ad nauseum. We talked about it so kind of in depth because we always are lucky enough to have Assemblyman Phil Palmisano on the show. So we had been talking about it for the full 3 years that we've been on the program, but a lot of people kind of blinked and realized, here it is. So it's supposed to take effect on January 1st, but the state agreed back in November to delay its implementation until after the court ruled on it. This is coming from New York State, I believe Spectrum. The law has faced new scrutiny in the last year over increased construction costs at a time of already limited affordable housing, as well as potential strain on future electric grids. Because let's face it, we've talked about it a million times, the grid is just not there. We are not prepared. Also, when you talk about fees and costs, yes, housing is already an issue in New York State, but just in general, what this will do, again, it will cause more businesses, more people considering moving to not ever put New York on their list. Not their short list, their list at all. The New York Independent Systems Operator released a report back in October indicating the state's electric grid could have reliability issues in New York City, Long Island, and the Hudson Valley within 5 years due to greater burdens from cryptocurrency, data mining, and shift to electric energy over fossil fuels. I like how they put that one at the end. Those concerns prompted a call to delay the All-Electric Buildings Act. In October, moderate Democrat State Assembly signed, which there are very few, signed onto a letter asking Hochul to do just that. Republicans in the legislature have long opposed this measure because they don't want to price people out of New York State, unlike the Democrats, the one-party rule in Albany. But according to Dror Layden, D-R-O-R, Dror Layden, a senior attorney at Earth Justice, said today's decision is a welcome return to a common sense understanding of state and local control over the homes we live in and the air we breathe. The gas industry tried to take away the ability for local voters to choose to build healthier and more sustainable homes for our kids to grow up in. But Congress has never supported such a power grab, and the court saw right through the gas industry's claim. Wait a minute. When did voters have a say over this? The gas industry tried to take away the ability for local voters to choose to build cleaner, healthier, more sustainable homes. You could do that if you wanted to. Why does that always translate to the government has to step in and force you to? Hey, if you want to build a new home and you want to make it all electric, more power to you. God bless. But how they can spin this at Earth Justice to suggest we had any say whatsoever in this, that gives state and local control over the homes we live in. How about the personal control over the homes we live in and the air we breathe? Can that be a personal decision? Does it always have to involve the government? So this is going to be quite a mess for Governor Hochul as she nears Election Day, because the costs are so exorbitant. Again, the grid not ready to handle it. So I would be curious to see how she moves forward with this. I realize, well, I'm going to run a little late in this segment, but it's worth mentioning because this kind of piggybacks off of that. According to the Times Union, landowners are seeking to overturn New York's hydraulic fracking ban. Now, this is one of the topics that we've discussed on this program, where you may not like the solar panels going up on beautiful farmland, but I never begrudged the farmer who for years has paid all these high taxes, these land taxes, and really when they're sitting on a gold mine because of fracking, and that of course banned by then Governor Cuomo, and Governor Hochul has done nothing about it. So to recoup some of that money, I've never really knocked the farmers. I still wouldn't, or landowners in general. But a federal lawsuit filed by a father and son who own more than 160 acres of property in Delaware County, they're seeking to overturn New York's ban on the extraction of natural gas through fracking. The litigation, which was filed in U.S. District Court in Albany in April, is unfolding as Republican gubernatorial candidate and Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman has said he would support overturning the state's fracking prohibitions. The lawsuit's defendants include Governor Hochul, State Department of Environmental Conservation Commissioner Amanda Lefton, and State Attorney General Letitia James. Last week, several New York-based environmental groups that had advocated for the fracking ban filed a joint motion seeking to intervene in the case. There have been various prohibitions on fracking enacted in the past 18 years. I'm not going to go through the whole history of what this means. Environmental groups support the bans, arguing that fracking impacts the local environment and the natural gas production works against the state's decarbonization goals. But more than 80% of the natural gas that New York imports from other states, including Pennsylvania and West Virginia, is produced by high-volume hydraulic fracturing. Think of the cost. Think of the transportation, too, in those scenarios. It is unbelievable. Bruce Blakeman said he would seek to overturn the ban, calling it absolute insane. It is clean energy. It is cheap energy. We all know from high school economics, supply and demand. We know demand is going to be high, and it's going to be higher with data centers coming into our state. And green energy is not going to fix that problem. The federal lawsuit challenging the ban was filed by Thomas Woodward and his son Madison Woodward III, two Delaware County residents who purchased 164 acres of property and its mineral rights in 2011 with the intent of leasing the property for fracking. They sold the property in 2019 but have retained the mineral rights. The lawsuit argues that the mineral estate has one function: extraction of the natural gas beneath it. By prohibiting every commercially viable method of extraction, New York forces the Woodwards to leave their mineral estate economically idle without any form of compensation that amounts to a total taking of private property that violates the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment bars the taking of property without due process of law. The Attorney General's office filed a motion. We don't need to go through all this. We'll keep an eye on this. I hate to say it because I'm so jaded. It's probably wishful thinking, but we would love to see a decision for fracking in New York State. The economic boom alone. Call me naive. I thought at one point that there would be, whether it was Hochul, Patterson, that they would overturn the ban because it would be so beneficial for their reelection when we saw the economy skyrocket. But again, Governor Hochul and Cuomo before her have shown that they're terrified of the left, in this case, the environmental left. But in general, with her endorsement of Mamdani, she's just terrified of the left in general. Okay, so before we go, we're going to end. There's 3 waves right there, folks. 3 waves of people walking by and a 4th coming in over email. My goodness. Now we got 2 other New York State issues, and then we'll get to the national news. So stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
You don't have time to go to the gym? The health club is not an option? Come to Hesselson today and see why swim spas and fitness systems can fit into anyone's yard and budget. 12-foot, 14-foot, 15-foot, 18-foot dual temperature hot tub and swim spas are all on display in Hesselson's indoor and outdoor showroom. Try before you buy. 0% interest-free financing options are available on every Hesselson swim spa. Swim and exercise year-round and start making every day better. After 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
After having arthritis for 30 years, I did want to work and keep working until my retirement age. The feet problems I had just made it impossible. The team was excellent. They go through everything step by step, help you right along the way. And after surgery, here I go again. We're back out. Moving around again is just amazing. And I'm very much appreciative of the care I received. It was exceptional.
Now, slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights,
Vests.
Please, give us some room.
slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
Move over.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, an extreme heat warning in effect with a high about 15 degrees above average in the upper 90s, southwest wind and some sunshine. Overnight, lows in the low 70s. Then we'll find upper 90s again, potentially some triple-digit heat for our Thursday. As we head through 4th of July weekend, we'll see some shower and thunderstorm potential. The rain will play a role in bringing some relief from the heat. Upper
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Let's go to some viewer comments. Good morning, Frank. Well, good morning to you. I'm so disappointed and upset about the Supreme Court's decision on birthright citizenship. I can't understand, and I can only imagine how much worse things will get now that they got the nod from the court. It's frightening. Yes, again, remember when we were lectured by the media and by the left that the Supreme Court is nothing but Trump loyalists or corrupt? Trump had a good day in some instances and a bad day in others. I mean, it's kind of how the Supreme Court should essentially work. It shouldn't, but no, they're not taking this certain like that for birthright citizenship as a win. They're still going to try to stack the Supreme Court. We're going to talk about that. I know a lot of people not happy with Amy Coney Barrett this morning. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Comment from a different viewer. Good morning, Frank. Oh, hey, it's Mark. Hey, Mark. Hopefully this electric mandate for homes will get Hochul voted out. Vote red. It could very well. What scares me is people aren't paying attention again. When the deadline started to near and the certain organizations were spreading the word about it, people were getting outraged. Will that continue to happen? Hopefully Bruce Blakeman gets ahead of this and says, let's start talking. All right. Comment from a different viewer. Hochul will continue to move forward with the crazy, ridiculous gas ban by falsely blaming NYSEG for energy costs and probably blaming NYSEG when the grid fails. Typical of a Democrat to not accept accountability. Absolutely, she already has been blaming the utility companies. Why? Because guess what? When you get that bill, that's coming to you directly from that company. It's perfect for Hochul. Now, I'm not saying NYSEG and others are as clean as the fresh-driven snow, but at the same time, your costs, your exorbitant costs, are directly related to the decisions made in one-party rule in Albany. So I'm with you. She will blame NYSEG because when you get that bill, when you get those costs, or when the grid goes down, whose name is on it? It's on the utility company, and she knows that. So when it comes to pure public relations, especially political public relations, she is in the catbird seat on that. Comment from a different viewer. What a nice way to start the morning here. Good morning, Frank. Well, good morning to you. Have an enjoyable day. Love the show with a heart. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you have an enjoyable day as well. We're having fun here. We have too much fun. Okay, two quick things on New York, and then we are going to talk about the Supreme Court decisions because that was huge, but we also have a couple quick political updates. First, let's just start with something kind of fun because we had some kind of doom and gloom talking about the all-electric house, all-electric buildings law. It looks like that will be law. Obviously, the ban on fracking. We heard Jennifer Mullen has resigned as town supervisor of Corning and pleaded guilty to one count of offering a false instrument for filing. So we had that. Now let's hear from our good friend, Assemblyman Phil Palmisano, and State Senator Tom O'Mara, also our good friend. Oh, and guess who else was there? Also a good friend, no pun intended, Assemblyman Chris Friend. They highlighted the 10th anniversary of the founding of the Corning Rugby Club. As you know, if you've been a part of this program, early on, we were very proud to interview some of the kids from the rugby team. Now, Palmisano, whose son and daughter play for the club, recently presented the resolution to head coach Bob McGee. We had him on the show as well. One of the club's founders at the club's annual end-of-season athletic banquet. Here's a nice picture from that event. In a joint statement from Senator Tom O'Mara, Assemblyman Phil Palmisano, Assemblyman Chris Friend, it says, "We appreciate this opportunity to congratulate and pay tribute to the Corning Rugby Club for their outstanding success over the past decade, building and growing one of this region's finest athletic organizations. It has become one of the premier rugby programs locally, statewide, and nationally. We welcome this chance to recognize and honor the dedication, excellence, hard work, and success of the Corning Rugby Club in providing opportunities for young athletes across the region for the past 10 years. The club has represented inspiring stories, created lasting memories for everyone involved, and will always be a source of enormous pride to the team's coaches and players, their families and friends, the community at large, and our entire region." So there. How about that for a nice positive story coming out of New York State? Now, head coach Bob McGee, seen in that photo, said, "On behalf of everyone associated with Corning Rugby, we are deeply honored to receive this proclamation from our state legislators recognizing our club's 10th anniversary. This recognition celebrates not only our accomplishments on the field, but also the hundreds of players, families, coaches, volunteers, and community supporters who have helped build Corning Rugby into a special organization over the past decade." And finally, NYUp.com says that a tiny upstate New York City has been named one of the best small towns in the Northeast. This again from NYUp.com, based out of Syracuse. It's Corning, New York, making headlines. The tiny southern tier city. Wow, they keep mentioning tiny. By the way, it's nice that they're writing about us, but man, they used an old picture. They used a picture of Corning when Donna's, which is still very much in business, but Donna's was on the corner by the Rockwell Museum. That has moved how many years ago? Now it's down on the next block. But the population, they say, just over 10,600 people, which I think tiny is kind of overstated in that scenario. When you think tiny, you think a lot less than 10,600. Is getting national attention for its charming feel and cultural scene, writes Kelly Corbett. It recently took home a handful of awards from USA Today's 10 Best Contests, including being named the 4th best small town in the Northeast. USA Today gave Corning a glowing review, praising its blend of history, culture, and local attractions. The outlet also highlighted the city's downtown Gaffer district. All right, we can go through the annual celebrations. Corning also landed at number 5 for having best small town culture scene in the U.S. So winning a bunch of awards here. Corning Williams Toyota Wineglass 5K was ranked the 7th best 5K race in the country, and there's more. Anyway, there, some positive notes for that segment. Then we got some breaking news, so stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
The only thing more American than apple pie and 4th of July is baseball. This year, WYDC is bringing you 25 New York Mets games free over the air this spring and summer. No fees and no subscription services. Tune into WJKP 48.2 to watch the New York Mets this MLB season. Let's go Mets!
Kids time. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen.
An app can turn your life upside down in an instant. Pain, medical bills, time off work, it's overwhelming. And when you look to the insurance company for help, they don't see you. They don't see your family or what you've lost. To them, you're just a number, just dollars on a spreadsheet. Their job is to pay you as little as possible. At WDC Injury Law, we see the person behind the claim. We fight for your recovery, your future, and your peace of mind. If you've been hurt in New York, call 607-500-HURT.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Another picturesque, almost a Bob Ross painting, if you will, of the Gaffer District of Market Street. Thank you to Boss Security. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Comment from a viewer. Big 250th happy 4th from Canastillo, our friends in Canastillo, plus a 10 for Pride in the USA. A 10 for Pride in the USA. So thank you from everyone in Canastillo. We appreciate that. We'll add you to the list. Okay, as an update, GOP Representative Tom Keene Jr., who had been kind of MIA for quite some time, 4 months, finally acknowledged what the reason for his absence was, saying, quote, "Several months ago, due to health concerns, I entered the hospital for some testing. I didn't expect a long-term stay. I was given the diagnosis of depression." This was during a speech on the House floor. So that is the reason for his long absence. I know we had talked about this in the past, and I just wanted to keep you updated. Wow, a lot of background noise. My apologies. Okay, hey, listen to this. It's spreading. It's not just New York City, folks. Socialist congressional candidate Malat Kiros has defeated longtime Representative Diana DeGetti in Colorado's primary, and another blow to establishment Democrats, but I would also say another win for the socialists, another win for Democrat Socialists of America. Insurgent socialist candidate Malat Kiros defeated the longtime representative. It's Colorado's 1st District House primary. Kiros came out on top of the incumbent, 49.3% to 43.5%. Now, obviously, Denver, Colorado, a very far left place. But, you know, the question has been, is this rise in Democrat Socialists of America just a New York City thing or certain pockets? It's something to keep a very close eye on. I'm not sure how much we'll have an opportunity to talk about it today because we're going to be talking with the sheriff. But just this surge in anti-Semitism, this surge in supporting socialism, Marxism, it's a very troubling trend, especially as we enter America's 250th celebration. Kiros' win in the solidly blue district follows a string of victories by socialist and far-left candidates over incumbents and establishment-backed Democrats. This is going to be interesting because again, I know I keep quoting Melissa Del Rosa, and I don't like doing that. She was the chief of staff for former Governor Andrew Cuomo. But her point was very good that the Democrat Socialists of America are a parasite because they see an opportunity. They see a really good opportunity, and they were right. Okay. They know they can't win being on the ballot as a Democrat Socialist, so they'd run as a Democrat. Okay. They go to these primaries, and they realize primary turnout is very, very low. I've heard varying numbers, but what was it, like 3? I think that one was 8%, something like that, of the voters turn out in some of those New York City races. Just very low turnouts, right? So they realize they have an energized base. They can get out the vote, and then that leads to November. So they can never normally win, but they get to November, and they believe that it's going to be a blue wave. They believe this is going to be overwhelming for Democrats. So they have, to the point about being a parasite, they have hijacked the party for their own means. It's terrifying, and on the political front, it's kind of fascinating to watch, but it is terrifying for this country. They saw an opportunity, and they took it. DeGette said, now is not the time to gamble and send somebody with no experience to Washington. The 15-term Democrat, folks, pleaded at a candidate forum last week. Not good when you're begging at that point. She was first elected to the House in 1997. She has represented, DeGette has represented the Denver area in Congress longer than Kiros, who's just 29 years old, has been alive. Notice there's a lot of younger people in the Democrat Socialists of America movement. Again, I point to the indoctrination in the school system. Now, DeGette, again, the established candidate, boasted endorsements from Colorado's Democratic Congressional Delegation, the House Progressive Caucus, Planned Parenthood Action Fund, and several prominent labor unions. All right, enough about that. Just a continuing trend. And finally, another update. Lauren Boebert clinched her Republican primary after running unopposed, to represent Colorado's fourth congressional district in Tuesday evening, setting herself up to pursue a 4th term. Despite notable clashes with Trump, Boebert emerged from her primary largely unscathed. Yeah, because she ran unopposed. Okay. Yesterday with the Supreme Court, we're going to talk about it when we return. But before that, did you see NPR embarrassing themselves? NPR, where so much of your money throughout the years have went. Nina Totenberg, American legal affairs correspondent for NPR, has apologized after she falsely reported that Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is retiring. She issued her apology on NPR's All Things Considered podcast, chalking her false report down to a rookie mistake. It's entirely on me. It's not anybody else's fault. She then read the apology that she personally sent to Justice Alito. Dear Justice Alito, there are no words to adequately apologize for today's error in reporting your retirement. It was entirely my fault. I rushed out of the courtroom after the opinion announcement, and when I realized that the usual rush of folks after a few minutes had not happened, I asked somebody what was going on inside, to which the answer was retirement announcements. I didn't hear the S on announcements, and I assumed somebody or something no reporter should ever do, that you were retiring. It was the worst professional mistake of my more than 50 years in journalism. I could go on, but I don't know what else to say except that I'm sorry. Wow. But what it says, NPR had a news report about Alito's retirement already written by the time Totenberg informed the newsroom, so they were prepared in case that happened. But you just hear somebody say retirement? I don't understand how you would just assume. Now, they are saying that insiders suspect that that might actually be happening soon. She just happened to bomb when she did it. No announcement was made, nor did Alito make any comment from the bench about his future. NPR's reporting regarding Justice Alito is inaccurate, and the reporting that there was any kind of court statement is inaccurate, the court spokesperson said. But there is speculation that he may actually, that it's actually been the scuttlebutt around town. A well-connected Republican operative noted that many people close to Trump quietly hope Alito will retire, allowing Trump to replace one of his most closely aligned jurists with another like-minded judge before the opportunity passes. If Republicans lose the Senate on the November 3rd midterms, Trump likely would need to compromise with Democrats and pick a more moderate candidate. So there is, again, an announcement that Supreme Court Justice Alito and Thomas have not planned to retire this year, according to sources. So it's that kind of back and forth. When we return, we're going to talk about the birthright citizenship. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This was our last chance to show who our son was. I can't say enough about pre-planning. When you are in those moments, you are not thinking clearly.
We showed up for the remembrance, and we walked in, and we just, wow.
It was arranged perfectly. Yeah. I certainly could not have done that in that moment. So to have those pre-conversations, it's really important.
Visit carpentersphillipsflint.com to learn more about our family-owned funeral homes.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers. An extreme heat warning in effect with a high about 15 degrees above average in the upper 90s, southwest wind and some sunshine. Overnight, lows in the low 70s. Then we'll find upper 90s again, potentially some triple-digit heat for our Thursday. As we head through 4th of July weekend, we'll see some shower and thunderstorm potential. The rain will play a role in bringing some relief from the heat. Upper 80s.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. And we are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio on Marcus Street in Corning. A couple comments from viewers. Wow, a lot of comments. You guys are chatty, and I love it. Let's get right to all of them as I'm compiling them. Don't forget, you can still take part in our impromptu survey. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you stand on your pride for country? 1 being the least, 10 being the highest. All right. Frank, I'm very disappointed in the Supreme Court ruling regarding birthright citizenship. Extremely bad decision. Comment from a different viewer. Good morning. Good morning to you. Regarding the insurgents of the socialists and the low voter turnout, I have to think that because most sane Americans will reject these insurgents and will therefore vote for other candidates, including Republicans. That's interesting, and I agree in some instances, but boy, the places that they're winning are so deep blue. I know there are Republican candidates in New York City that are running against some of these people whether the Democrat Socialist of America candidates that are either running in Congress or for the Assembly. But it's how extreme, and this is why we sometimes talk so negatively about gubernatorial races, because we really want to see Bruce Blakeman do a great job. We want to see him win. But we get concerned because the city has become so far left that you'll see these Democrat Socialists of America still winning, even with their radical ideas, because that's how deep blue they are. So I hope you're right. I hope there's some sanity that returns and people say, how can I vote for someone? I mean, some of the things that these candidates have said are so disgusting. The one candidate, DAC, was out at that rally protest against Israel the day after the terrorist attack in Israel. October 8th, she was out there. The Hamas, I shouldn't say, Hamas, I mean, it still works, but Hamas attack. It is shocking what is being said. Okay, anyway, Ken writes, but I hope you're right to that viewer. I hope you're right that sanity will prevail. Ken writes in, chalk up another 2 major wins for the demonizing, doxing, and threatening tactics of the Democrats and legacy media. As far as I'm concerned, Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Barrett took the low road and didn't side with common sense Americans on birthright citizenship. Kavanaugh didn't join them on the Election Day decision, but he might have if Roberts had voted with the truly conservative judges. They think they dodged being targeted by the radical left activists. This might be true for a short time, but with history as our guide, we know that since they are labeled as conservative judges, the legacy media and Democrats will continue to target them and work to get them to continually side with liberal judges or minimize their influence by packing the court. The Dems don't want an occasional win. They want to win every time to push their agenda. Ken, you're spot on. And we've seen this in the past. They're scared. I think that's why with Brett Kavanaugh, they went after him forcefully. I mean, we saw it not just with his confirmation hearing, but after. They want to find people that will lose their spine on certain issues. Because right now, Democrats should be happy they have some wins, and this whole nonsense of it's loyalists to Trump, proven wrong time and time again. But you're right, they want every victory. This is not enough. So either they stack the Supreme Court or they continue with their doxing campaign, their intimidation campaign that seems to be working. The U.S. Supreme Court voted 5-4 on Tuesday to reject President Trump's reform of the nation's birthright citizenship policy. The long 194-page Trump v. Barbara decision says Trump's order violates the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. The decision was 6-3 against Trump, but Justice Brett Kavanaugh argued that Trump and other politicians can change the rule via legislation. Citizenship, then and now, John Roberts wrote, was the right to have rights, to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land. We keep that promise today. The right applies even to foreign parents who sneak across the United States border with Canada and Mexico, who enter as temporary workers or tourists, Roberts insisted. Wow. Now, the decision forces Trump and pro-American politicians to step up border controls to exclude more migrants seeking to snatch citizenship slices from Americans. Democrats and business groups, however, will resist such controls, as we know. Again, why is it, we know the answer to Ken's point, but isn't it amazing? So all these conservatives are loyalists, and yet how many times have we received a decision that conservatives hated? Then, when you look at the liberal justices, they don't waver. There might be some minor decision that they made, but when it comes to the big ones, they're not wavering one bit. It's the conservatives, and this has been throughout history. This isn't even just with this bench. That's why Alito, but Clarence Thomas are so impressive with their fortitude. But historically, Republicans or conservatives are the ones that cave. Democrats do not. Now, the DOJ is directing federal prosecutors across the country to step up investigation and prosecution of so-called birth tourism schemes, arguing that the practice exploits a U.S. immigration system and often involves visa fraud and other federal mandates. In a memo, Deputy Attorney General Colin McDonald ordered federal prosecutors across the country to team up with Homeland Security and make these cases a priority. Officials say foreign nationals are lying on visa applications or misleading border agents about why they are traveling to the U.S. Also, they can give birth here and automatically secure American citizenship for their children. Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican, shared that he would reintroduce, get this, former Senator Harry Reid's exact bill that would not only eliminate birthright citizenship for the children of illegal migrants, but also clarify who can receive birthright citizenship. In a post, Marino responded to another post. Anyway, I don't want to go to the back and forth of the post, but Marino said, I will reintroduce this exact bill when I return to D.C. Let's see how today's D.C. Democrats will vote when offered the ideas of the Democrat Party that used to love this country and the American people. President Trump said Congress should start today to work on ending birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president that has now been determined during this process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They will have my complete and total support. House Speaker Johnson said the birthright citizenship has been grossly abused. It's one of those things that was intended to serve a noble, important purpose and has been thwarted and overused and abused, so I'm sure that we'll continue to look at that. Come on. Senator Tom Cotton and Senator Rand Paul ripped the birthright citizenship ruling, proposing a constitutional amendment, so there's moves being made looking for an amendment, constitutional amendment, in that scenario. Trump also, I know I got to take a break. You heard the corning whistle. I did too. President Donald Trump trolled the Supreme Court, saying, I would like to congratulate President Xi Jinping and the great country of China on their massive birthright citizenship win. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. What a good way, what an impactful way to put that, though. I would like to congratulate President Xi and the great country of China on their massive birthright citizenship win. All right, we got to take a break. Keep those comments coming in. We also definitely, and I know it's a battle for the birthright citizenship isn't over. It just made it harder to resolve. Now we're talking about amendments. We're talking about laws. Now, man, we got to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
Small businesses are the heart of America. Like you, these entrepreneurs started out with a dream and the drive to build a better life. If you have a small business idea to grow or challenge to face, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1964, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses. Today, they are the nation's largest nonprofit source of expert mentoring, resources, and education. Whether you're starting out, building back, or have worked at it for years, SCORE will match you with specialized mentors. Our thousands of volunteers provide the guidance and connections you need for free. Your success is waiting. SCORE is ready to help. Find a mentor today at SCORE.org.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Some viewer comments. A few people, a couple different people said, can you name an instance where liberal Supreme Court justices have voted for even one victory for Trump? I know there's been some. Normally, it's not, obviously not a huge victory, but you do have every great once in a while, but it's not anything. And I try to look it up, and it's just not easy to find during a break. But no, not on huge victories for Trump. Not that I know of. Someone can correct me, but nothing that I've seen. Mark writes in, as far as birthright citizenship, I don't believe it's right for foreigners to come over and have babies to make them citizens. But it is in the Constitution that anyone born here is a citizen. So how can they change the Constitution? If they do it, then what's next? Freedom of speech, right to bear arms? Well, you could do an amendment to the Constitution. That's what Paul and who was the other one that I said? Rand Paul and somebody else. Sorry, just Tom Cotton, are suggesting an amendment to the Constitution, eliminating it. So you can do that, but that's not an easy process. And that's the argument that, who is it? Ilya Shapiro makes, that the Supreme Court didn't end the birthright citizenship battle. It just made it harder to resolve. Trump lost the constitutional battle. Now he has to fight the enforcement war. So now it looks like enforcement, at least. All right. Comment from a different viewer. Just wondering if anyone can explain to me what, if anything, the RNC is doing for us, Republican National Committee. I don't see anything being organized. I stopped donating a few years back when they weren't backing our president. I don't know. I did see that yesterday President Trump confirmed that the GOP will hold a midterm convention. I think this is kind of a unique idea before the midterms in Dallas in September. The location dates for the event, designed to drum up enthusiasm for GOP candidates ahead of the November 3rd election, were first reported by Bloomberg News. This is kind of like, you know, the big conventions that they have during a presidential year and how that rallies around the troops. That's what they're hoping here would be in Dallas on September 9th and 10th. Big news, for the first time ever, the Republican Party will hold a midterm convention. It will be in Dallas, Texas, one of my favorite places in the world, Trump wrote. It will be fantastic. It's never been done before and will be a truly historic event. We're going to celebrate the great American comeback and the incredible success of the American people who transformed our country through the America First agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, stronger borders, safest ever communities, lower costs and real affordability, more jobs, American energy dominance, and so much more. All right. So that would be a part of, I would assume, the Republican National Committee. At the event, we will have hardworking Americans, our great innovators, entrepreneurs, manufacturers, first responders, and job creators who are empowering our nation's golden age and proving that America's best days are still ahead of us. We will also have lots of great entertainment. It will be a rally like none other. All right. Well, we got to take a break. But Vance did argue, because I want to talk about the ban on trans athletes in sports, in girls' sports. But Vance argued there is a big silver lining in the Supreme Court's, quote, preposterous ruling in the birthright citizenship case. I know a lot. He was on Laura Ingram's show. This is Vice President J.D. Vance. I know a lot of conservatives, certainly the people that I'm talking to, that you're talking to, are extremely disappointed in this. But I do actually think there's a big silver lining here. And that's the simple fact that a lot of legal experts expected this case to go the wrong direction by 7-2 or even 8-1. The fact that this case was a 5-4 decision effectively means that the concept of birthright citizenship, which is an absurdity to the 14th Amendment, that concept is hanging by a thread. The vice president made that argument yesterday. Chief Justice John Roberts and fellow conservative Amy Coney Barrett were joined in the majority by, I mean, it's worth saying, can we keep labeling everybody conservative if they go against Trump so often? We're joined in the majority by liberal justices. Of course, the majority ruled that Trump's order violated the 14th Amendment. All right. A sixth justice, Brett Kavanaugh, found that the order did not violate the 14th Amendment, but did violate federal law from the 40s and 50s. All right. It always seems like the Republicans, the conservatives on the court, they know how to botch a good thing. If it were the other way around and the majority were for the Democrats, you would never see any wavering. For the liberals, you would never see any wavering on the issues. That's the difference. All right, we got to take a short break and getting ready to wrap up hour number 1.
After having the arthritis for 30 years, I did want to work and keep working until my retirement age. The feet problems I had just made it impossible. The team was excellent. They go through everything step by step, help you right along the way. And after surgery, here I go again. We're back out. Moving around again is just amazing. And I'm very much appreciative of the care I received. It was exceptional.
Did you know we waste as much as 40% of all the food we produce globally? Did you also know that each year, millions of acres of wildlife habitat are plowed over, and billions of gallons of water is guzzled up to produce that food? And your wallet is taking a hit too. Americans toss out more than $382 billion worth of food per year. That's a lot of waste. But did you know that there are simple things you can do to help? And spread the word that food should never be trash. Visit us at wwf.earth/food waste.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers There's an extreme heat warning in effect with a high about 15 degrees above average in the upper 90s, southwest wind and some sunshine. Overnight, lows in the low 70s. Then we'll find upper 90s again, potentially some triple-digit heat for our Thursday. As we head through 4th of July weekend, we'll see some shower and thunderstorm potential. The rain will play a role in bringing some relief from the heat. Upper 80s.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. So I did a little more research. So there's two instances in the Department of Homeland Security v. DVD. Justice Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson dissented from the court's decision allowing the Trump administration to send 8 migrants to South Sudan. And then the second one, so there's been 2 according to this piece by a legal blog. Second, Trump v. American Federation of Government Employees. The court allowed President Donald Trump to proceed with his plans to make significant cuts to the federal workforce, with Justice Sotomayor and Kagan voting with the majority. Justice Jackson filed a vigorous 15-page dissent, decrying her colleague's ruling as not only truly unfortunate, but also hubristic and senseless. All right. Yeah, let's just say that when you look at this, there is, I don't know, it's interesting because I think, depending on how long she is there, Ketanji Brown Jackson, she is never going to waver from the left's decision. Never. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm glad that you received my email. Thank you for responding. We'll read that in the next hour. Don't forget, Steuben County Sheriff Jim Adler is going to be our guest in just a moment. Supreme Court did uphold the state bans on trans athletes in girls' sports. We may be able to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about that before the sheriff stops by the studio. In a 6-3 opinion, the High Court determined that neither Idaho nor West Virginia had violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment with their bans, as well as the Title IX, which allowed states to separate sports teams on the basis of biological sex. But the majority opinion by conservative Justice Brett Kavanaugh also underscored the importance of treating transgender athletes with respect. Most of the biological female and transgender student athletes who are involved in transgender sports disputes around the country are teenagers or in their early 20s, Kavanaugh wrote. These student athletes want to play sports. Their desire to compete warrants respect. No student athlete or other side of the issue, whether biological female or transgender, deserves to be ostracized or vilified. Now, the conservatives have hailed Justice Clarence Thomas following the High Court's ruling to uphold state laws preventing transgender athletes from participating in women's sports. He had a concurring opinion saying men and boys with gender dysphoria are not women or girls, even if they believe that they are. Sex is an immutable biological characteristic. See ante at 10. It is binary, and man and women, boy and girl are the terms that correspond to adults and children of each sex. To use language to obscure reality, to show indifference regarding the truth, is to lie to the public and cease to treat our fellow citizens as equal. Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Dunn wrote, "Truth, fact, and common sense from Justice Thomas is in his ruling that men and boys with gender dysphoria are not women or girls. Amen, sir." Others saying, "Right into my veins," or someone said it should be put up in the Louvre. This is on fire. So blasts the transgender rhetoric as, quote, a lie in his biting Supreme Court opinion. So that is making the rounds this morning. Sorry, I'm looking at my time and realizing that I'm running late, as we always tend to do. So we could talk about a little bit more on that when we return. Your thoughts on it. I know yesterday was kind of a mixed bag when it came to the Supreme Court. But again, we've seen a scenario where conservatives very often cave to the demands, even really when you look at what Brett Kavanaugh said, and even though that decision went in the right direction, what Brett Kavanaugh even had to say to kind of put that disclaimer on there. Because again, to Ken's point, doesn't want to get doxxed, doesn't want to get intimidated, which I'm sad to say that's still going to happen. That's one thing conservatives don't ever learn. And that's in Washington very often, and it's in the Supreme Court, that they're not going to like you if you make one decision in their direction. It's not going to stop the intimidation. It's not going to stop the doxing. It's just blood in the water, unfortunately. But we got to take a break. Stay with us. More on this when we return. This is, Frankly Speaking, hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2 coming up next.
Hi, this is Tom Witzel, owner of Hesselsons and Amara Heights. At Hesselsons, we care about your well-being and overall health, whether it's relieving stress, muscle recovery, increasing circulation, or just revitalizing the body. Hesselsons now has 2 complete line of infrared and traditional rock saunas in our new and expanded showroom. Come in today and see why owning a sauna is the start of your new healthy lifestyle. Hesselsons is still locally and family owned and operated in Amira Heights. After 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselsons.
Small businesses are the heart of America. Like you, these entrepreneurs started out with a dream and the drive to build a better life. If you have a small business idea to grow or challenge to face, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1964, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses. Today, they are the nation's largest nonprofit source of expert mentoring, resources, and education. Whether you're starting out, building back, or have worked at it for years, SCORE will match you with specialized mentors. Our thousands of volunteers provide the guidance and connections you need for free. Your success is waiting. SCORE is ready to help. Find a mentor today at SCORE.org.
And we welcome you to hour number 2 of Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Aiken. We are broadcasting live and proudly from the Hesselsons studio here on Marcus Street in Corning. Coming up a little bit later on, we're going to be talking with Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard, so you will not want to miss that. We were talking, before that, a great comment here. If you haven't been tuning in the last couple of days, shame on you, but we've been doing an impromptu survey about your feeling about America as we lead up to America 250, since every other place is doing a poll. 10 being the proudest, 1 being not proud at all. We got this one. Good morning, Frank. Good morning. Thank you for the email address. Yes, we put up the email address earlier. I'm glad that it reached you. Being a Marine Corps veteran, I am very proud of our country. Well, thank you for your service, of course. That's very nice. Put me down for a 10. Thank you, Jeff. I do appreciate that. Yes, I would imagine a Marine Corps veteran would be a solid 10. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. We're going to add that to the survey. I would say the survey is skewing pretty proud, and I love that. All right. Education Secretary Linda McMahon, who's been on the program, touted a tremendous victory with the Supreme Court's decision to uphold a West Virginia law restricting transgender females from taking part in girls and women's sports. She said her department would make sure every school and university followed the ruling. She blasted ideologues who used Title IX to advance a radical transgender agenda, subjecting women to immeasurable harm. The Trump administration has fought to restore Title IX's protections for women and girls since day one. Today's ruling cements those reforms and builds on decades of work to secure equal educational opportunities for women and girls. Now, New York gubernatorial, on the Republican ticket, gubernatorial hopeful Bruce Blakeman released a statement on this yesterday. We made history in Nassau County when I signed the nation's first executive order protecting girls' sports. Today, the Supreme Court affirmed the constitutional rights of women and girls to be protected from unfair and unsafe competition by biological males. But while the court stood up for our daughters, Kathy Hochul continues putting them in danger by forcing biological males onto their teams, accusing his election opponent of discriminating against biological female athletes. So he was really ahead of the game on this, Bruce Blakeman. I thought I had it up. Blakeman first issued an executive order forbidding transgender athletes from using the county's 100 ball fields and athletic facilities to participate in girls' sports, which drew an immediate challenge from Letitia James. We don't have to go through the whole history of this. But Bruce Blakeman calling out Hochul. Hochul could not be reached for comment. Riley Gaines, who's been at the forefront of this, said the Supreme Court has handed women a massive victory by upholding reality and federal law with a favorable ruling on 2 landmark cases in a single opinion. Women's sports can be just for women. The phrasing there is important, and it goes through this whole piece. I do see the sheriffs coming in. Today, the Supreme Court took an important step toward restoring reality. Now it's up to the rest of us to finish the job. But activists say that the war is not over, and I don't think we should be surprised by that. They will be as forceful as ever. But we have Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard coming into the studio on this warm morning. If you have your questions for him, and I saw a couple of them coming in, we'll be prepared for those. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in. And we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox, stay with us.
Watch Big Fox News on YouTube.
Kids time. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen.
Having a safe home is essential to many aspects of our lives. From a sense of community and safety, to physical and mental health, to economic security and independence. Most homes in our communities are not accessible and are not designed to accommodate the changes that come with age, including the risk of falling. The Older Adults Home Modification Program helps reduce the risk of falls, improves safety, and increases accessibility and independence. Through this program, Rebuilding Together works with older adults to provide no-cost preventative home repairs so our neighbors can safely age in place in the homes and communities they love. To learn more, visit rebuildingtogether.org/safeathome.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, an extreme heat warning in effect with a high about 15 degrees above average in the upper 90s, southwest wind and some sunshine. Overnight, lows in the low 70s. Then we'll find upper 90s again, potentially some triple-digit heat for our Thursday. As we head through 4th of July weekend, we'll see some shower and thunderstorm potential. The rain will play a role in bringing some relief from the heat. Upper
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. And in that studio this morning, Sheriff Jim Allard. Good morning.
Good morning, Frank. It is a beautiful day in Steuben County.
It is. We don't mind the heat. We can stand the heat.
We can stand the heat. It's not freezing. There's no snow or ice.
No, you were
I'm
able to
happy.
Yeah. So of course, the cliche question to start off with: how's the garden?
The garden is really jumping. This has been great weather for the garden.
It really has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything new? How's everybody feeling about it?
Officer Smith is the guy that's in charge of it, and he is very happy with the way it's going.
Good. All right. So one of the things I want to hit on with you, just in general, at a personal level, but also for all of the viewers, how are you going to celebrate America 250, and how should others celebrate America 250?
You know, it's funny. I've been thinking a lot about this because obviously I remember the bicentennial,
right,
and I remember the parades and the church dinners and all of the there was a lot of celebrations that went into that, and I was 10, 12 years old when that happened, and I remember being in parades and dressing up in colonial stuff, and I just don't see a whole lot going on other than a lot of flags.
Right. Yep.
So
it's kind of discouraging because even think about back then we had the coin even. Remember
Right.
we get the bicentennial
Yeah.
recorder?
Yeah.
Like you still see them sometimes.
Yep.
And but there was I've been watching video clips and I think a lot of it's with the media. The news has been everything's been doom and gloom.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Every poll is horrible
Yes.
because they want to paint it against Trump. But if you look in 1976, there like you said,
it was so much worse.
Right? Yeah. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
It was so much worse.
But was it all? Did the media push that agenda? Like,
No.
It seemed like everybody's kind of rallying around.
Well, it's kind of interesting, and I don't want to get on a whole soapbox here, but in '76 you had the 3 networks in your local news.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
And, you might be one of those people that got the New York Times 3 days later in the mail.
Right.
But outside of that, it was in this area, the Leader, the Star Gazette.
Yeah.
And then
the local outlets.
And very where I grew up in Bradford, we got Syracuse or Rochester News.
Oh, that's
we didn't even get Elmira because it was all on antenna.
Yeah.
3 channels.
Isn't that wild?
And so
everything
everything you got was the evening news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Walter Cronkite was it.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that wild?
it is wild. And now you look at the vast amount of information that folks have to go through, and you see it every morning as you're getting your news feeds. And so I think it was a different time in that we were much more focused on the bicentennial, and it was a good thing. I haven't heard of any real big celebrations.
No.
I know on Little Juanita Lake we're having a boat parade to celebrate.
Yeah.
And my daughter-in-law's in charge of decorating our boat. So
okay, good.
We'll be in it.
All right, good.
My wife's got a Lady Liberty outfit. I've got an Uncle Sam outfit.
Oh my gosh,
so
you got to send pictures. We got to put that on there. Everybody's going to want to know what that looks like. But I do think something that's kind of interesting about it, I want to say that other groups have partnered with it in a way.
Yes.
So I think everybody was concerned there'd be so much going on the 4th, must be.
Right.
Because like Colonial Days in Painted Post,
Yep.
they celebrated with America 250.
Yep.
I know Hornby just celebrated 200, had a huge turnout up there. I guess that went really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It was their bicentennial, but they had a
Yep.
part of it be America 250.
Right. That's cool.
So I think it's neat that people are almost partnering with it, if you will.
Yeah, and it's an important, it's an important milestone for our country, and with all the divisiveness that's going on across the country, this is something that I think we all should and could unite on.
I would hope.
And I would like to see more things coming, but I haven't heard of any.
No, and if you look at the coverage of like the Great American Fair or whatever it was called in Washington D.C., they want it to be a failure.
Yeah.
That's what's so sad about it. You don't. It's almost like they scoff and laugh at people that have a flag on or celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. I mean, I guess
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's the divisiveness of it. But it's stuff like that, the celebrations you'll be a part of, and so many people enjoying just 250. I think personally.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very personal celebration, and this country's been through a lot in 250 years, but it keeps going.
It's remarkable.
The framers set it up right.
And of course, I think you have to do the PSA that everybody has to keep safe, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, and. We started doing PSAs with WLEA and their parent company recently, where we have one member of our agency team up with a owner of a winery or a brewery or a distillery on Keuka, and they're doing PSAs together about have a plan. Come enjoy Steuben County.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, come enjoy Steuben County, but have a plan and drink responsibly while you're enjoying what we have to offer. And it's been very well received on the north end, but it's also playing in Rochester because we do get a lot of summer activity from that area. So we've started doing that with Stop DWI and in traffic safety funds and some local funds, and it's been very well received. I tried that 2 years ago, and it was a big hit.
And I like how fireworks season starts around mid-June now.
Yeah.
At least it's someone that goes to bed at 8 o'clock. Yeah. And it's weeknights now. It's not just on the weekends.
It's every night, yeah.
But they did expand it where there's more fireworks available, right? 'Cause it seems like back when in the radio days we talked about it, I think under Cuomo was like sparklers were about it and snakes, I think, right?
Now anything that's basically anything that's ground-based is good. So like the I don't want to be insensitive here with some of the colloquialisms, but some of the fireworks that go up
Okay.
And,
I don't know. Don't say it then if you think it's wrong. Okay. But
won't.
yeah, so if they explode in the air, but as long as they're based on the ground.
Right. They
Okay.
can't go up.
Yeah.
They can't be propelled.
Okay.
You're
that
going to
makes
see
sense.
them, and we're going to get a ton of complaints. And you know, again, please be safe and responsible in what you're doing, and keep your kids safe.
Because that's going to be so difficult to track that down, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because as soon as
where-
they
it
see
could
the
be
marked
anywhere.
car, then everything gets hidden.
Yeah.
And you know what's bad is when people lose digits or body parts because they're not being safe, or they consumed alcohol before they put them off.
They got a little crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement. So be safe. That's what
Yes, be safe. Don't start any fires. Don't burn up anybody's boat.
No. all the type of stuff. All right.
Yeah.
We got so much to talk about this morning. And I think we have a little time before I have to take a break. So we had our friends from Keuka College come on the other day, and they were talking about, we had a nice conversation. Annie, you know Annie. So they were on to talk about everything that you're doing with the New York Sheriff's Institute there. Tell us a little bit about what that, because when they came on, it was right at the very beginning. Like They haven't really officially announced it. Yeah.
So we had the training. We had what's called Heroes Week. So we teamed up with the Sheriff's Institute, teamed up with the Mental Health Association of New York State and others to create a Wellness Week training. And we had people from Albany County to Chautauqua County and everywhere's in between, including docs, to come and learn not only how to be well themselves, but how to be a peer support counselor for others in their agency, and how to do the training that we provided to them, to their folks. And it was very successful. I talked to my counterpart from the Mental Health Association of New York State yesterday, and she said she's still getting contacted from people that were in the class.
Oh, that's great.
How much the self-care has helped them, and how influential it's been in their lives. So it was a very good week, and obviously we're raising money to build a wellness center at the camp on Keuka Lake. And while we're doing that, we were able to team up with Keuka College and use their facilities for that training, and we have some more retreats coming up. But it was amazing, and they're such great partners.
Oh yeah, well,
I mean, just fantastic to work with, and the people that came from Sing Sing.
Yeah,
they're like looking at Keuka Lake. Going,
can you imagine?
Yeah,
I didn't realize, and when I mentioned Annie, I meant Annie Stahl, who was here with us, but the president Amy was on, so I didn't want people to think I didn't know her name. She was great. It was so refreshing.
They were both awesome to work with.
It's so refreshing to see a college president talking about working with law enforcement. Anymore, it seems like every time we see a release or a statement from some college, even in our area sometimes, it's not the most positive.
It's not that way.
No, and they have, what a slice of heaven they have there.
They do. And like I say, there were, I had to laugh. We had one lady that was from Sing Sing working for docs, and she came up, and it was on a Sunday when the Mennonite community were leaving church.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't know if I was in Alabama or North Carolina, but there's horse and buggies everywhere. She had no idea that New York State included our population.
Yeah.
And she was very funny, but she was one we got out on a kayak on Keuka, and
how much fun.
It was great. It was great. It really was. It was super rewarding.
And it kind of ties in, and we're going to talk about this later, so I'm going to keep people hooked, but a little bit about the Wellness Center.
Yeah.
Just about the unique opportunities for our law enforcement in this area. But we'll talk about that after we take a break. How's that?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. Stay with us.
When you're online, don't forget to visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
Looking for a meaningful day trip close to home? Visit the historic Elmira Prison Camp, one of the most significant Civil War sites in the North. Walk the grounds, stand where history happened, discover powerful stories of courage, sacrifice, and survival that shaped our nation. Whether you're a history enthusiast, a family looking to learn together, or simply exploring the Finger Lakes region, we offer an experience you won't forget. Plan your visit today at elmiracivilwar.org. Preserve, discover, remember.
You can just keep watching and scrolling, and the world will still feel like it's falling apart.
Widespread missiles. Highest hospitalization.
can take action by joining a movement that's creating real and lasting change instead. Partnering with communities around the globe to help uproot poverty and plant seeds of hope for a brighter tomorrow. Because at World Vision, we believe that no situation is hopeless. Join a movement that's changing the world for good.
It's the home of creativity. Release your inner audio engineer. Create with the 3D printer. Make your clothing ideas come together with our sewing machine rentals. Or come to the library event nights to chat with those within your community. All with your library card. Go to your local library today.
Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. In that studio, Sheriff Jim Allard. All right, we got a couple comments here. Ken writes in, a viewer asked what the RNC, Republican National Committee, is doing for the conservative voters. While I agree the Republicans always take a knife to a gunfight, I think we have to be honest about what can be achieved with most of the media and the Democrats on the Democrat side. If every Republican was a clone of Trump, the Dems would be able to achieve what they do, even with the corrupt legacy media on their side. But alas, this isn't the case. Republicans have to balance pushing the conservative agenda and protecting their families and lifestyle. Democrats don't have to worry about this most of the time. If we had a media complex that unbiased reporting the news, and if we didn't have opinion shows that flagrantly and intentionally mislead the public and tout themselves as news shows, Dems wouldn't have the power they do. There we go. All right, that was unrelated deal. All right. Good morning, Sheriff. Where do you stand on the impromptu poll? So our poll is scale of 1 to 10. Where you 10 being your you can use the word proud of America or grateful for America or patriotic with America, and 1 being the least.
Oh, I'm a 10.
There we go. We were adding it to the list, I assumed.
I'm a 10. You know, my entire life, adult life, has been in public service. First in the armed forces, served in the Army Reserves, and then in policing here in Corning, and we have the best country in the world.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind. And like I say, we've had some bumps, we've had some struggles, the Civil War, for crying out loud. I had 2 great-great-grandfathers that fought in the Army of the Potomac all the way through because it was important to finish the job.
Yeah.
This country's going to endure, and it's still better than anything else out there.
I know.
And you can pick and poke and worry and cry, and it doesn't change the fact that we're here.
Exactly. It's so frustrating when the media does focus on all the negatives. And again, when you think what we've accomplished in 250 years, it's amazing.
And you know,
that should be where the pride is.
Some of our worst moments, we fixed.
Yes, absolutely.
And we continue to fix
quickly.
And
sometimes.
we're continually, we're like a good marriage. We're continually a work in motion.
There you go.
And it's never perfect. But it sure beats anything else out there.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Now, we've had a couple other questions, and the question you normally get, any updates on the county? What's going on in the county?
0. Just waiting for the decision from when the county appealed the justice's decision.
Yeah, and that should be coming up pretty soon.
I would
you
think.
Don't even have a time frame?
No. They operate on their own calendar.
Because I'm assuming because I don't hear anything that nothing's happened.
Right.
But at the same time, we've talked about this for so long. I'm waiting for that day where I get the message, right?
Yeah.
Just let's pull off the Band-Aid for heaven's sakes.
It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah.
What a nightmare. And I think at this point, I'm just speculating. You don't have to say anything. I would think the county doesn't want it to come. I would think they'd want this to go away. It's quiet right now.
Yes. Yes, they would.
But the decisions were already made.
Right.
All right. So, having said that, hard hat enforcement. I saw this in your newsletter.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about being safe on July 4th. Tell us kind of about this initiative.
So we teamed up with DOT to provide a detail to enhance worker safety on the secondary roads. And, how important is that when we see what happened last week where a school bus hit a paver on one of the county roads? And actually, I've had conversations with our county DPW about doing the same thing with them. That paver where it got struck was where the driver sits.
Oh my goodness.
And he just happened to be off while they were filling the paver. Just luckily.
What a miracle.
Yeah.
Right?
And when the bus hit it and took the controls out and basically would have taken that person with it. So I think it's so important that we continually reiterate being safe in the work zones because, once May hits, it's construction season on the roadway.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we get in our own little world of having to get here and get there, we shortcut safety and to dire consequences on the roadways.
It is, because we've all been down there where we go down the road, and there's sometimes, out of necessity, they have to be so close.
So close to the cones or the barrels, yeah.
And you see someone that's speeding through there, you go, I'd be terrified to go faster than... I'm that guy that's going slower than they recommend, and you feel kind of like a jerk.
Right, because everybody's on your butt behind you. Yeah,
it gets a little bit scary, but that's a great initiative, and also one that I kind of alluded to, and people are wondering why I didn't bring it up right out from break, but the Wellness Center, the New York Sheriff's Institute Wellness Center, and so we mentioned you partnered a little bit with Keuka College. Tell us about how that's going, because this has kind of been an ongoing story too.
Yeah, it's going really well. The fundraising's still going very well. We're going to have an open house up there for some major donors when the kids are there, so they can see it in action, both for the wellness and for the kids that go to that camp. Last week was week 1.
Okay, how's that
Chemung
going?
County went good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ours go, I think, next week. And it's just an amazing thing to see these kids because they're completely unplugged.
That's got to be something.
For a week. Yeah. No Xboxes, no phones, no tablets, just nature.
Yeah.
And it's about 130 kids every week from all over the state.
Yeah.
We just got a really cool donation from the Presbyterian Church in Bath. They donated a bunch of sheets and pillowcases for the camp.
How great is that?
Yeah. And we continue. The Office for the Aging does a clothing drive every year because some of these kids come from downstate with just what they got on their back.
Right.
And so there's a definite need there. But the Wellness Center is advancing. We've got a retreat scheduled in September there. And we're looking at stylizing retreats that tie in with the beauty of Keuka Lake.
Yeah.
And also with the training. We learned that when we did the Heroes Week training, is that we need to incorporate the lake more into that week-long training, more training outside, less training on PowerPoints inside.
Right.
And we heard that loud and clear from all the students, and we're going to incorporate that.
Oh, of course. I like that. It's almost like the update. You remember the show Gilligan's Island?
Yeah.
You said it's Xbox, no phones, no tablets, not a single luxury.
Yeah.
Like the theme song. That would be the updated version. But think of that, because we've heard the struggles, and it sounds like it went really well. But in the schools, when they weren't allowed to use their phones, it sounds like that. So imagine a whole week for some of these kids.
Yeah. It's really amazing, and some of them have never seen a lake.
Yeah.
They've never been swimming.
Or you think of the wildlife.
Yeah, because again, there's 32 acres with trails all through it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're either in the water or out doing.
Right. And when we talk about the fundraising, what's the time frame on that? How long before? Because it's already started, right?
Yes.
I mean, so it's not. This is just to improve.
Well, we've raised about $2 million so far.
That's great.
And we want to raise about another $4 million. To really be secure in our construction, and we already have the plans. We're shovel ready.
Yeah.
So we're on our big push right now to get those final major donors across the line and be able to start putting that up, because I think it's going to be life changing.
Yeah, if Musk is watching. Make a quick.
That's
donation.
Right. Come on, Elon.
Come on.
Dig in that wallet.
What is that? $4 million?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's like buying a cup of coffee. Probably not even. But will there be a time? Because I know at first, like any of these kind of major projects, it'll be kind of the bigger donors at first to make sure everything's going well. Will there be an opportunity for people that aren't Elon
Anybody
Musk
can right now. If you go to the New York State Sheriff's Institute webpage, you can donate. There's a QR code there. You can donate, or you can send a check to New York State Sheriff's Institute. It's on the address is on the website, but it's Elk Street, Albany.
Okay.
and just put for Wellness Center in the notes, and it'll go right to that.
And going back to the kids that are attending right now, how many counties participate in it?
Every county in the state of
So,
New York.
oh, every county? I missed
Yeah.
that. Okay, so wow.
Yeah, we have buses that pick up in the Hudson Valley and down near the city and bring them up here when it's their turn.
Wow. All right,
Yeah.
we got to take a short break. That's cool. I just think that's such a fun. And the weather's been perfect for it.
Yeah.
For kids. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe this week's a little hot, but still for kids
Well,
out there having fun.
lots of sunscreen and lots of lake time.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
Sophia A., grade 4, absent, because transportation was absent.
Julio M., grade 6, absent, because Wi-Fi was absent.
Maria J., grade 12, absent, because childcare for siblings was absent.
Jacob O., grade 12, absent, because housing was absent.
Aisha S.,
Olivia H.
Darren L.
Cole W.
Preston L.
Absent.
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 Because healthcare,
Anti-bullying mental health support was absent.
we're calling roll on the 15 million absent students.
Their reasons why are very real.
And yet the solution is a present, caring adult to help them along their path.
When communities and schools is present, 99% of our students are present and ready to learn.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, an extreme heat warning in effect with a high about 15 degrees above average in the upper 90s, southwest wind and some sunshine. Overnight, lows in the low 70s. Then we'll find upper 90s again, potentially some triple-digit heat for our Thursday. As we head through 4th of July weekend, we'll see some shower and thunderstorm potential. The rain will play a role in bringing some relief from the heat. Upper 80s.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. In that studio, Sheriff Jim Allard. All right, we got still plenty to cover. We got a lot of topics. First of all, we were talking off the air. This is exciting. You had a graduation party to go to.
Well, this weekend the party is
yeah.
And that's, I kind of want to touch on that too and just remind all of our new graduates. Yeah. It seems like every year we hear of a tragedy where someone is out after graduation and does something that they're not prepared or capable of doing, and it ends up horribly tragic. Please take that extra second. Don't get in the car with someone who's been drinking. Don't be that person who becomes a headline. Right. And let's all be safe throughout this graduation season. With that said, my niece was the graduated from Campbell Savona, Emma Allard, and was valedictorian.
Congratulations.
So it was very nice to see. And I know her parents are both very proud. They were both valedictorians of their classes. Wow. So there you go.
There we go.
I think it was kind of expected.
Yeah, exactly. That's one. But going back to what you're saying, because I know we've talked about this the last couple times you've been on the show, and I just got an email from Joe Sempolinski that we got to worry about the Steuben County Fair signups again.
Yeah.
You like it? I got to be at the Republican booth.
So I bought a cowboy hat when I was in Omaha.
Oh, did you really?
I'm going to be wearing that at the fair this year.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I joke. I love doing the fair. Seen the pig race. Everybody knows that. They watch this program. But I think it's so moving when you first come in and you get to see Emily's Challenge.
Yeah.
Like, what a great location for it. Because people, I know it tours everywhere now, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that have never seen it before, never had the opportunity to see it before, and can see it at the fair.
Yeah, she's been to over 25 school districts this year. Wow. And, I don't know how she does it because it's heart-wrenching. she gives her own personal account of losing her daughter,
Right.
and then plays the video and then takes the kids out to see it, and she estimates she's reached over 3,000 students.
That's great.
This spring, and you know, again, if it saves one life, holy moly,
Yeah.
it's absolutely worth it.
And I would recommend anybody go see it wherever.
Yeah.
Because I know it's been at schools, but also I think it's being requested all over our areas.
It is, yeah. Yates County Fair asked for it. Steuben, obviously, we're going to have it there, but she's been to, with it, she's been to two different statewide traffic safety conferences. They've asked her to display with it, and she'll be at another one this fall in September. So it's the cool thing is, since we presented on it last spring, and now there's one started up on Long Island.
Okay.
That we kind of gave them the blueprint on how to do it.
Yeah.
And there was another one in the Hudson Valley that's getting ready to go. So again, I'm extremely proud of the work that our folks did to make it, and that Kim does when she Dispatcher Clark does when she takes it on the road.
Yeah, it's, again, highly recommend it. If you go to the fair, stop over. Okay, I got a question from a viewer. So what happened to the bus driver? Was that like a very high fine?
Well, nothing's been adjudicated yet.
Right.
We sent out our accident crash reconstruction team to fully document what happened, and then once that is completed, and if there's charges, they'll be levied then.
Gotcha. And they also added, and I haven't heard this specifically, but an update on the nurse that was hurt at Elmira Correctional. Did you see that? Phil was talking about it. I don't know the specifics of it, but I think it can paint a larger picture of a conversation we can have about the HALT Act and things like that. But they're saying there's no punishment for the convict. I haven't heard that. But either way, I know, and they say, thanks, Governor. When you look at the rules, and I know we've struggled with correction officers, finding corrections officers.
Yes.
And you look at every time Albany's in session, I know I say it every time, but that they're tying the hands of law enforcement.
Well, and we've talked about this before. Last year was the worst year in the history of correction officers in the corrections realm in the state of New York, and they did zero to correct it. They made it worse because they tried to pass legislation that said that the officers have to be scanned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on entering the facility.
Like they're the ones bringing in the
they're the ones that are bringing in the contraband.
Yeah.
In this demonization of law enforcement across our state government, from the Attorney General to the Governor and back, has caused such a rift in our culture for people to get into that public service. I just did an article or an interview with USA Today on this very topic, and when I talk about how difficult it is to recruit, again, we're getting ready for another deputy. We just had another deputy exam where we're going to be all fighting over the same 7 or 8 people.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's true.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
And then, the state police comes in and offers double what we pay. It's a little difficult for young people to not take that.
Sure. But wouldn't you look at the history of the track record with Hochul and like that and say maybe it's better off at the county level? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I would think.
Well, so everything they pass is based on Rikers Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Which they were going to close 10 years ago, and it's still going.
Yeah, I think Mom Donnie said the other day it's not quite on track to close yet.
Yeah,
it's
never going to close. But Rikers has its own set of issues, which are completely different than any upstate jail.
Of course.
And compared to state prisons, our jails are cleaner, they're better, they're newer, they're better kept. Everything about our county jails far exceeds anything the state does.
Right.
Yet all of our regulations and changes in how we operate come based on what the state does.
Right.
So it's incredibly frustrating for every sheriff because every sheriff has to have a jail.
Right. Also, I don't know if I'm sure you've been seeing the reporting, and I talked with Phil Pompasano, but it's affecting this area too. With this raises the age, when we talk about, I mean, you've got these young people's lives who are being ruined because of decisions coming out of Albany. Young, impressionable kids being recruited into gangs or just falling in with a bad crowd, and it's destroying them.
And then they go, so if you're a 17-year-old and you're accused of a violent felony, you're going to a specialized secure detention, typically around a major urban center.
Right.
And it's like going to college for crime.
Yeah.
Because everybody you're in there with is the most dangerous 17-year-olds
that you're gonna
in
meet.
the state.
Yeah.
And and they take them. So we've had to take kids that are in secure detention to New York City and to Long Island because there's no beds.
Right.
Well, how's the family supposed to deal with that and support that child?
That's a great point. Yeah.
When they can't even find them? And then we have to send deputies down to get them, to bring them back to family court, to take them back. So it's cumbersome on the system. It's incredibly expensive, and it's worse for the child than what we had before. At least if you're in the local jail at age 17, your parents can come visit you.
Yeah, exactly. And you might not be getting like you said, the worst kind of tutorial.
Right.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I just am so concerned with the young people that are getting messed up in the gangs, because why wouldn't these gang members are smart?
Yeah.
Criminally smart.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well,
it's
you're not going to get in
organized crime by happenstance.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also last time we talked, because I think it was soon after the budget and the end of session, it seems like the DOJ is going to look into the ICE, the new laws against ICE.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope.
It's so dumb.
It really is. Tom Homan, though, our buddy.
He's ready to go.
He's your friend, but he's ready to go. But again, it goes back to this idea of taking the masks off when we see the doxing that these people went through. Private citizens. Well, they are private citizens that just happen to work for ICE and having their lives attempted to be destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, they've got families. They've got kids.
Yes.
They don't want their face plastered across the internet.
No. And they don't deserve that at all for keeping us safe. But we mentioned about the issue with the corrections officer and their safety. How has recruitment went?
We're doing better than we were.
Okay.
But we're still a good 10 to 12 down.
Okay.
From where we need to be. That's full-time positions. But that's better than 16 to 18 down.
Right.
So
that's true.
We're making progress slowly but surely. But we still have a ways to go.
Yeah. Well, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
When you're online, don't forget to visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
What would you do with free gas for a year? Would you take the long way home? Take a road trip with your best friend? Or find somewhere you've never seen before? Because sometimes the best memories aren't planned. They're the ones waiting at the end of the road. Enter to win free gas for a year through the Quick Fill Fueling Discovery Summer Giveaway. Get ready for endless adventures ahead.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators.
What can this ball teach us about the way things move?
But right now, millions of kids go to schools that don't have the supplies they need just because of where they live. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You could supply a classroom like this one with a project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
This year, WYDC is bringing you 25 New York Mets games free over the air this spring and summer. No fees and no subscription services. Tune into WJKP 48.2 to watch the New York Mets this MLB.
Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. In that studio, we have Sheriff Jim Allard, if I can find right camera there. Okay.
And I didn't even hit anything yet.
I know. You've been very good. You've been very well behaved this morning. We have a couple of things that I think people are looking for updates on because we've talked about them a couple times, but I think I missed it. How is the planning going for the trail run? It's called Beyond the Call, Saving Lives Through Wellness. And this goes to benefit the wellness camp, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've been talking about that this morning. So tell us how that's going.
So that's going really well. We got a good boost. I just had another sheriff text me yesterday that he's got a team he's bringing.
Oh, good.
From all the way from Chautauqua County.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so it's finally starting to get some momentum with registrations. But this was the idea of Under Sheriff Bianco of Schuyler County using the Watkins Glen International.
Great place.
Yeah, and they're having a motocross event. I think they already had it up there, so the trail's going to already be established. But he said it's a no-joke run.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 5K and a 1.5 mile family-friendly run also. Everybody that participates will get a challenge coin, and all proceeds are going to go to the Wellness Center. So I'm excited about it. I'll be up there that day, and I'm trying to talk my son into letting me sign up my grandkids.
Oh, yeah, you should. No, absolutely no doubt you should. It's Sunday, July 12th, and that's the thing. This time of year, I think people get nervous.
Busy.
Yeah, people go, oh, someone's not registering or someone hasn't bought tickets for this event or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there might be 20 things going on the same weekend.
Yeah.
We see it. It's like we never learn. We know it's this way every summer.
Yep.
But it's a 3-mile race, and then, so let's see, you must be 13 years old to compete. 1.5
In the
mile,
5K, yeah.
And the 1.5 mile race, that's for anyone. You must be 6 years old, I would
Right.
think. I think that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
Looking here that they have runsignup.com. We heard about that. I guess that's common. If you're familiar with 5Ks and marathon things like that, you can find it right there. It's Beyond the Call.
Very fortunate. Sheila Sutton, who's been on your show before with the wine glass, she's running this for us. She's donating her time.
And she's an expert.
Yes.
If anybody can pull this off, it's definitely her.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it's called Beyond the Call Trail Challenge when you look it up on Run Sign Up. And I think it's just going to be, if you're going to run, you're going to exhaust yourself anyway. It might as well be a beautiful view and a fun time at Watkins Glen.
That's right. Yeah.
It's one thing to do it there, and I think it's a great idea. So you'll have to let us know how it goes, but anything that we can do to keep raising funds for the Wellness Center, we want to learn more about.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and on the different side of the coin, the 10th annual, this is hard to believe, 10th annual, I think we've talked about it every year, 10th annual Law Enforcement Memorial Golf Tournament.
Yes, yes.
You've got a busy summer.
We do have a busy summer. That's the trail run, then the county fair, then the golf tournament, and again that raises funds for the Sheriff's Foundation, specifically for the Memorial Park.
Mm-hmm. And this is there's something you need to know. If you're going to sign up a team, there has to be one member. What is it, of law enforcement? On
Either
the team?
active or retired member of law enforcement on your team. Yep.
Okay, and you sign up. And I thought I had all the information. It's Friday, August 28th.
Yes,
it's a fun time.
It is. It's a
so
great
I'm not
time.
I mean, I mess around golfing sometimes, but last year just going up and hanging out and seeing it, it's a little competitive.
It gets very competitive.
Yeah.
You've got some last year's team that won had come in second place for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And could never. And then last year I think they got a ringer in.
I was going to say, I think they got a couple of ringers in.
And they finally won.
Yep.
And I was so happy for them.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's great food. I've been in tournaments before.
Yeah.
And you normally get the hot dog or whatever. But then you go to this, it's like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, well, it's Corning Catering.
Of course.
And we know that when Billy Spalding's involved, it's going to be wonderful.
Yes, and people are taking home. That's how much was left over.
Yeah,
so it's worth it just for the food.
Oh, it's a great time and great food and a great cause too.
It really is, and that's in reference to if people haven't been before. But that's when you have your big memorial service. That's the same park that you're talking about.
Yes, in the one that's attached to the public safety building, that has the granite statues listing all of those that we've lost. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I know we talked about it last time, but there was another great turnout. Everything went well this year.
Yeah, it went very well.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. Yeah.
We've been really lucky this year.
We have been.
So it's the best place is to mail a check to Steuben County Sheriff's Foundation. If you don't have the information, or if you want to find more about it, I can get you a copy of the sign-up sheet.
Yep.
Team captain, three other members, and just sign up for a fun day on August 28th.
P.O. Box 911, Hornell, New York.
Perfect. How'd that work out? How
Worked
did you
out
get
well.
that one? P.O. Box 911. All right, we got to take our last break, and then we return. So get your last-second comments in and your last-second impromptu poll numbers where you stand in pride of America. Stay with us.
When you're online, don't forget to visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
What would you do with free gas for a year? Would you take the long way home? Take a road trip with your best friend? Or find somewhere you've never seen before? Because sometimes the best memories aren't planned. They're the ones waiting at the end of the road. Enter to win free gas for a year through the Quick Fill Fueling Discovery Summer Giveaway. Get ready for endless adventures ahead.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators.
What can this ball teach us about the way things move?
But right now, millions of kids go to schools that don't have the supplies they need just because of where they live. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You could supply a classroom like this one with a project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
This year, WYDC is bringing you 25 New York Mets games free over the air this spring and summer. No fees and no subscription services. Tune into WJKP 48.2 to watch the New York Mets this MLB.
Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. In that studio, Sheriff Jim Allard. A couple last minute questions. It's hard to believe it. This goes quick whenever you're on the program. All right. So the last couple times we've talked, the reorganization going on behind the scenes. How's everything going?
Everything's going really well. I'm very impressed how everyone has stepped up and is fulfilling their new roles.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of seamless. We've been very, very lucky. One of my things that when we just did a corrections supervisor course where I got to have them for 8 hours for ethics. And one of my messages is if you haven't developed and prepared your successor, you're not doing your job as a supervisor.
Right.
At any level. And it would appear that the message had been heard because everybody's doing a really good job that's moved up, and I couldn't be more proud of the work that they're doing.
And like you said, if you're prepared for that, but it's still got to be a little learning curve. It still seems pretty seamless.
Well, you don't see behind the curtain of the next level until you get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Under Sheriff Logsdon is doing phenomenal. He has stepped up. It's funny. He represented me up at Monroe County Crime Analysis Center board meeting. And the sheriff from Ontario County called me afterwards, and he goes, "Hey, your new guy's squared away. He asked all the right questions.
Oh, great.
He represented well.
Yeah.
What a great choice."
Yeah.
And when you get that validation from outside, it's even more gratifying to hear.
Well, you can even tell with the golf tournament, things like that. Like just a few times I met him, he's working hard.
He's
got big
works
shoes
very
to fill.
hard. He's a hard worker.
Yeah. He's got big shoes to
He
fill,
does.
but he's doing it.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah.
Also, and I always want to use this because it's one of the things I do in the morning. I joke, I check Wordle, I play my Wordle, and then I check out the app. But everything's going good with the app. Still getting the numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal. I
see a lot of places. I'm not saying they're stealing it from you at all, but I see a lot of people have initiated the same, and it even looks the same.
It does, and we've always been very outgoing in our social media at the sheriff's office, and I'm seeing that across the state now too, because a lot of times that's the only way you can get the word out.
Yeah.
And we just added the animal abuse registry to our app.
Yeah.
And I fully expect that to start getting used soon. And we were very fortunate. I talked to the sheriff in Niagara County, who's a friend, and they already had it on their app. So he sent us all of their policies, their forms.
Yeah.
All we got to do is change letterhead, basically. So I was very grateful for that we were able to set that up with a minimum of lift.
When you raise a great point, because we were talking about at the beginning of the program in a weird way about the media, there's just not the coverage sometimes.
No.
And when you look at the app, you get all that information right at your fingertips, and you don't need, all the background. You have it right there.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I think once I learned about it, I like I said, I joke, but I do check it quite frequently. And the animal
Most people
abuse,
do.
I know, you see the numbers. The animal abuse registry, I know that is relatively new. And we talked the last time you were on, there just happened to be around that time, like quite a few.
Yeah, we had like 3 or 4 investigations right on the tail of that, and it wasn't to promote it. It was just they go where they go.
Yeah, isn't that strange? But
Yeah.
so you think that's going to be running here? Because I haven't checked it yet. Is it running pretty smooth, or is it in the process?
Well, it's up. We haven't had anyone directed by the courts to register with us yet.
Gotcha.
So once that starts happening, then they'll be on there, and it's a pretty easy ad for us.
Yeah. Oh, good. And finally, before we go here, the staffing analysis.
Yep. On Monday, we'll be presenting to the Public Safety and Corrections Committee. And again, Under Sheriff Logston has done a phenomenal job of gathering data, putting it together, graphing and charting and all of those things. But across the county, we have fewer police officers than we've ever had.
Yeah.
So our goal is simply to have 2 deputies per 500 square mile zone at any given time. And that's what we're.
To ask.
No, it's not. And I think all indications from the legislatures is that they're overwhelmingly in support of it.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than try to do a big chunk right now, our goal is to add 2 deputy positions per year for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And space it out so that it's budgetable, it's foreseeable, that's not a big drain on the taxpayers. And
it was supported last year, right?
It was.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was. So they wanted more data. We got the data that they wanted, and it all supports that decision. So I don't expect to see anything but collaboration on this.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be able to get the help that the citizens deserve, because when you're waiting 20 minutes for an emergency.
Yeah.
That's a long 20 minutes.
Yeah, Steuben County is a really big county.
It is. We have 3 patrol zones, and each one's 500 square miles.
Yeah.
Each one's bigger than Chemung County.
Yeah.
So when you think of it that way,
it's a little startling.
It is. And, it's scary. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right. Right. That's very true. And I would think that would be something that should be easily supported, because I know the people would support it.
Yes, and they do. And in all the town board meetings I've been, that's the number one thing I hear is we want more deputies.
Yes, absolutely. Because it does seem, unfortunately, especially when summer breaks, we always talk about it, but crime does go up.
It does.
Yeah. So that's when it's top of mind. Well, I think that does it for today. That went quick. We covered a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
We always do.
Yeah, we do. So happy again, July 4th. Tell everybody have it safe out there. I've got Congressman Nick Langworthy on the program tomorrow.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I see he's doing, he's looking for heroes.
Yeah, like hometown hero type story. And we're going to talk to him about that. I thought that'd be a great way to go into July 4th.
I may have sent a nomination in.
Oh, yeah?
I did.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to say yet because I don't want to.
Yeah.
In case they don't get it.
I know how many people are tuning in right now. Like, is he talking about me? They're all saying right now. Well, if it does, we'll make sure to break it here on the program.
Yeah.
Well, happy July 4th. Stay safe. And I can't wait. You got to send pictures in the costume.
I will. I'll send you pictures. Right. And please, everyone, have a safe July 4th holiday. Have a safe Independence Day weekend. Have a plan. Be responsible. Let's avoid tragedies.
I couldn't agree more. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Join us tomorrow morning. Congressman Nick Langworthy will be our guest.
What better start or end every day than relaxing in your very own Hesselson's hot tub. Massage therapy, relaxation, stress reliever, pain management, soothing muscles, or just spending time with a loved one. Hot water therapy really does make every day better. Hesselson's has been a part of this great community for over 70 years, still being locally owned and operated. So make the drive to Hesselson's and start making your path to a better life today. And after 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.